Finitude, if you had a choice between Street Fighter 6, MVC 4, and CVS 3, which would you choose? It'd be a toss-up between CVS 3 and a game that I've been talking about for a while now, which would be called Street Fighter Origins, which would include all the characters that are dead that we know about, or old, but they'd be young. So I've talked about it before, but like for me, what would be kind of fun, and maybe in story mode, what you do is you make it, instead of time travel, which is what NetherRealm do with Mortal Kombat, maybe in story mode, what you do is you do it like flashback mode, like Goken's telling the story or something. And so you get, in story mode, you get like all of these old characters in their young form, and some of them are alive again, right? But you also have like present time, so you have Ryu and Ken, right? Because everyone needs Ryu and Ken in Street Fighter. So this idea would be Street Fighter Origins, you would have like Chun-Li's dad, right? Now we know this guy existed once. We know that he's the reason that she was investigating M. Bison, right? So it's like a character that's new, but has been around forever, in a sense. So it's like, holy shit, what can Chun-Li's dad do? Does he have the same moveset as Chun-Li? Could I main Chun-Li's dad? I don't know. What does a young Akuma look like? Did he have a different moveset before? Was he good? Was he struggling a little bit like Ryu is with like the Satsu no Hado? What was Goken like when he was young? Did he have a different moveset? You know, what did Dan's father, Go Hibiki, what was he like? Because he, apparently, according to the story, he was the one who took out Sagat's eye, right? Go Hibiki, like a viable Hibiki character, you know? Young Oro, like completely different looking, let's say. Like not like a wrinkly old man. Young Gen, right? And you can mess with their movesets because they haven't learnt certain things, potentially. Then you can bring in the guys from Street Fighter 1, Retsu, right? How strong is Retsu? Young Sagat with 2 eyes, right? A young Sagat. What's he like? Gotetsu. Okay, that's the biggest one. That's the biggest one by far. Goken and Akuma's master, Gotetsu. Zeku. But you'd only be playing young Zeku, right? But you have a story mode where modern day is reflecting on the past, right? So you bring these characters all back to life, right? Or you make them young. And then in the general, like ranked or whatever, right? It becomes like a little less canon, which is fine. I think people can accept that. And you get to play young Goken versus Ryu. Or Chun-Li versus her dad. That to me would be a dope game. And I would call it Street Fighter Origins. And the reason I like the idea is because it's mine. But the reason I like the idea is because it helps with 2 age ranges. The people who are aging out, which is like me, right? We're all getting older, right? We're gradually aging out of Street Fighter. What you need is young, fresh, young players, right? And one of the things, I got this comment a lot on my YouTube channel. Young players like the new characters. Even though FGC is like, oh, new characters. Young players like new characters because there's no history. There's no Daigo who's been playing Ryu for 25 years, right? There's a new character, and that new character, I can be that new character. That new character can be me. Like, that's new. I can play that new character. But the characters in Street Fighter Origins stay true to the story, and for us who are sort of like getting older, we're like, actually, those characters are really dope. Even though they're new, they're dope because we've known about them for a long time. We've known about Gotetsu. We've known about Chun-Li's dad. We've known about Go Hibiki. We've known about all these various characters that have died in the past. Did M. Bison have a body before? A different body? I don't know. Maybe. That, to me, would be like a dope version of Street Fighter. Street Fighter Origins. So I would go backwards. But that's me. I mean, you could also go forwards. You could try to fill the gap between Street Fighter, fill the gap further between this game and Third Strike. Or you could go beyond Third Strike, and you could have Old Man Ryu, Old Man Ken, and some new characters. I don't know. But I do think you need Ryu and Ken and a few of the characters to be right there in the center of the game. But the way that Mortal Kombat seems to do it is they seem to make the characters get a little bit older, and then they sort of have time travel and stuff like that, right? So you can have a crossover of all these different characters from different periods. And I think you can do that too with Street Fighter. It's just you make the story kind of like a memory, and then you make the ranked matches or CPT esportsy side not exactly canon, like maybe it's a I know it sounds ridiculous, but maybe it's a dream or something, or maybe it's like Goken trying to imagine what it would be like to see these people fight in their prime. I don't really know the answer exactly, but I think there's some power in playing around with characters that we know existed, and so that will please us as old school Street Fighter players, and they'll be new in terms of like they're kind of new characters, they're new playable characters, so that should help some of the young people coming into the game because they like new characters. So that's kind of what I'd like to see, is something like that, Street Fighter Origins, like pre-alpha days. I think I'd love to see all of those characters that are dead now come to life. I'd love to see that. But who knows? But they need like a little bit of I think Street Fighter, the game, the Street Fighter franchise, kind of needs a little bit of a marketing twist. Because it had nostalgia for 4. 5 it didn't. 5 it was just kind of like, here's Ryu and Ken again, and here's some other characters, and it was missing a little bit of something special to hook people. And I think the next iteration, that's just like one idea, but I'm saying I think the next iteration of Street Fighter, I'm not sure that it can just be like, and now we're on to Street Fighter 6. It has to have a hook. There has to be a hook to it. I just don't know what the hook is exactly, but I'd love to see some of these characters. Like I said, I've said it 100 times. I'd love to see some of these dead characters come to life. I mean, what the hell would Getetsu be like? Like, how dope would what would he be? Young Getetsu. I mean, I guess he'd be like, maybe like the age of Goken or something, but like, I don't know. I think that would be kind of cool. Either way, the marketing is really, really important. I mean, it's always important, but it's particularly hard with franchises because they've been around forever, and it's one after the other. So anything they can learn from NetherRealm, I think, is important as well. Actually, funny thing is, me personally, I wouldn't mind CVS 3 as well. I think CVS 3 would be great for 2 reasons. One is we would get Capcom versus SNK, and we would get SNK versus Capcom. So CVS 3 to me would make sense for both companies. Be kind of exciting. Would have that marketing element of, wow, CVS is back, or this is a bit different, or this is a crossover, or whatever. Kind of attracting the attention of both sets of fans from SNK and from Capcom. So, good question though, Finitude. Rookie of the Year, Balrog. Nice one, Rod. Yeah, I've seen Assassin's Fist. I thought it was a good idea for them. There's a couple of things that about Assassin's Fist they did really well. One was they focused in on a few characters, because when you try to make a movie or a comic book about 100 characters, there's nothing interesting about it. The storyline is a problem because you don't become attached to anybody in any depth. But they made the right choice in Assassin's Fist, and they had Gotetsu and Goken and Akuma and young Akuma as he was. I loved all of that. I thought they did that really well. Do we know anything about Ryu's dad? I mean, some people say that Akuma is Ryu's dad. Was it Akuma? Doesn't Akuma have a baby in Assassin's Fist? Some people joke. Some people talk about Ryu's dad being Akuma, but I don't know. Oro was always old. He's centuries old. Yeah. Sagat with 2 eyes. That's illegal.
What
What up, guys? Born Free here. Just want to say a big thank you to my patrons, including my new ones, Monkey and Cool Guy, and my biggest patrons, Nathan Duncan, Terrence Harris, You Ain't Jeff, and Steven Sense. September was a bit of a sucky month, so I probably lost a few of you along the way, but I'm going to try and stay consistent now. And come join me on the stream later at twitch.tv/bornfreetwitch. Come talk to me, come watch me play, come hang out, come lurk, whatever. All right, guys, peace.